This guy steps out of the shower and freezes. His shadow is gone. At first he thinks he's just imagining things, but no matter where he looks, it's nowhere to be found. He searches everywhere, and still nothing. Then suddenly, he comes face to face with it. His shadow is just standing there, separate from him. For a second, he's completely freaked out. Is it alive? Is it dangerous? Is it about to kill him? But then he gets an idea. What if he can control it? So he hesitates for a moment and tells it to raise its hand. And it does. Instantly. Yeah. Something is seriously off. Lately, strange things have been happening to Jiang Yu. First, his eyes start hurting, and he begins seeing health bars above people's heads. Then it gets worse. He starts having these visions of the city in ruins, filled with monsters slaughtering each other, only for everything to snap back to normal like nothing happened. And as if that wasn't enough, he discovers a mysterious tattoo on his chest, radiating some kind of dark power. And now, he's got a living shadow that obeys his every command. This makes our boy excited, and he starts giving him more orders. My man literally makes his own shadow dance. After a bit, his head starts to hurt, and he starts to wonder where the shadow even came from. A strange glowing orb appears out of his chest tattoo and turns into a screen. The screen shows him the stats and attributes of his shadow. He only has a single ability called Shadow Devouring. He taps on the plus icon and it shows him more details about the shadow. In short, his shadow is an exact replica of himself, including his memories. The shadow will obey his commands, but it can't think for itself. Zhang tries passing his hand through the shadow and realizes that it doesn't have a physical body. He asks the shadow if it has all of his memories, and the shadow nods. Our boy immediately jumps to his table and takes out his math homework. He asks the shadow if it can help him with the homework. Jiang is a bit surprised to see that the shadow can actually hold the pen. This makes him question if he truly doesn't have a physical body. Since the shadow cannot think for itself, it fails to do the math homework and drops the pen. Zhang gets mad and tells him that he could do this homework in 2 minutes. He wonders if the test is too difficult for him. Instead of asking it to solve the questions, he asks the shadow to write the lesson from memory. This time the shadow gets to work and starts writing. Our boy thinks to himself that he doesn't even need to be a superhuman anymore since his shadow can basically cheat on tests. He might as well sell all of his books. Jiang can definitely see insane potential in him. He takes a look at the attribute panel again to find something else. He clicks on the plus icon below his shadow technique, and it reveals that he can absorb shadow points from all darkness. This will increase his strength and can also be used on dead objects. Jiang wonders how this thing actually works, since he doesn't know if he has to physically make contact with the darkness or the object. He starts looking around and notices the shadow in the corner of his room. He tries absorbing the shadow, but nothing happens. This makes him annoyed since the ability doesn't even have a manual or guide for beginners. Suddenly, a notification pops up that informs him that his eyes have undergone an unknown transformation. This grants him a new ability called Shadow Pupil, and he can activate this to see the dark side of the world. Jiang wonders if this is the same place he saw earlier. He decides to take it step by step and not rush things. As he is thinking about his new powers, he turns to his shadow and asks him to stop cheating. Instead, he orders the shadow to do some push-ups. The shadow gets up and starts disappearing into the ground. Jiang panics as he wonders where his shadow went. After a few moments, the shadow appears out of the ground again and stands in front of him. Jiang asks him where he is, and the shadow tells him that he is on the dark side. When he asks the shadow what he is doing, he reveals that he is exercising just as he ordered him to. Jiang wonders if it is more beneficial to practice on the dark side. He dismisses the shadow and gives him permission to go back. After the shadow leaves, he sits back on the table and prepares to do some serious work. The next morning, we see him sleeping on his desk, dreaming about food. He suddenly wakes up and feels his back hurting because he slept on his stomach. At the same time, someone knocks on the door. Jiang opens the door to meet his girlfriend and classmate Lu Yao Yao. He notices her health bar at 93 and wonders why it dropped at this time. He realizes that it's probably because of the pollution since his shadow came back from the dark side. He asks her why she came so early and she reveals that she heard about his new drawing. She wants to see his design collection. Yao Yao was startled as Jiang closed the door too fast. She gets a bit mad at him, but our boy stands there in shock as he notices cracks along the wall. He can't even believe his own strength. His girlfriend also looks in surprise and starts analyzing his whole body. After thoroughly scanning him, she asks him if he has been going to the gym. She dismisses her own question as she realizes that he is just a loner who hasn't exercised in years. However, it is still strange that he got such muscles overnight. She starts touching his muscles and asks him if he did something. Jiang denies it and says that he raises his bookshelves every day. Our boy realizes that the effects of his shadow exercising also show on his own body. His girlfriend doesn't believe that he got this body with such little exercise and thinks that he might be taking some enhancement drugs. She tells him that there is still time for him to turn back. Jiang mockingly tells her that she talks too much, and before he can react, she grabs him by the arm and starts to take out something from her back pocket. Jiang screams as he asks her if she is about to use some lethal weapon on him. Yao Yao takes out a wristband and tells him that it is an instrument that is used to test the pollution index. Killing alien races, ingesting foreign objects, and resentment can cause this index to rise. If the pollution within a person is not purified in time, it can cause them to turn into an abnormal form. Jang laughs internally as he hears this, since he doesn't think that the thing on his chest would have any pollution. His amusement turns into shock as the machine starts reacting with the chest device. He looks back to see his girlfriend with a gun who is ready to shoot him if necessary. He uses all of his willpower to try and calm down, which stops the reaction. The result comes out normal, and it shows no pollution in him. He sighs in relief as he realizes that he is safe. She mentions that her dad taught her to be careful with everything. Hearing this, Zhang tells her that he recently drew some famous comic characters and asks her if she wants to see them. Yao Yao gets excited as she wants to see the drawings badly. Later, Zhang thinks back and realizes how close he was to getting caught. He opens up the system window and reads a notification that his shadow has started exercising in the shadow world and has gained shadow points. As he continues reading all the notifications, he realizes that his shadow has grown a lot stronger. This makes him shocked, and he wonders if his shadow has been training all night. The shadow keeps on training, and our boy can already feel the results. However, he feels that these exercises are not enough, and he should make it even more difficult. He orders his shadow to do push-ups and planks. Those planks are not normal ones. He actually orders the shadow to push up with 2 fingers on one hand and push up in a tiger pose. Zhang makes his shadow do martial exercises and squats. He then increases the difficulty level of those exercises by including running with weights and abdominal exercises. Meanwhile, Yao Yao is standing outside the main character's room and hears him ordering his shadow. She assumes that Zhang is actually training, and all her doubts are too much. She is relieved to know that there is nothing wrong with Zhang. She goes back home to read some comics. The scene shifts to year 99 of the disaster calendar. The date is January 20th, and it's day 1 of obtaining shadow. The shadow keeps on training all night without feeling tired. Zhang gets stronger due to his shadow's constant training. Zhang thinks it's shameful for young people like him to be content with their current situation. The next day, he arranges more training for the shadow, and the results are amazing. He wonders if he can kill Yao Yao with just a single punch now, but he realizes that he has to work harder. His uncle Lee, who works in the night patrol, also visits him, but he does not notice anything unusual about him. Uncle Lee is getting old, and he has also lost his arm. Zhang thinks that he can kill 3 Uncle Lee and 10 Yao Yao with just a single punch. He works even harder the next day. He wonders that his life cannot go on like this, and he has to work hard to gain extraordinary abilities. He decides to strive more and more. On 24th of January, he makes his shadow train hard while he is doing his work. On 25th of January, he goes for the same routine. His shadow keeps on training and he keeps on working. On 26th of January, he takes the initiative to train himself, but he gives up on just 10 push-ups. However, the growth rate of shadow points is very slow. He has got 8 shadow points with his training, and he wonders how long will it take for him to get 10 points and activate the shadow possession. He assumes that he can improve faster if he enters the dark side himself. A black swirl emerges from his feet and takes him in slowly. He vanishes onto the floor and goes to the dark side. To his surprise, he is still in his room. He wonders if it is the actual dark side, as it's exactly like his room. He goes outside to explore the dark side. A few minutes ago, when he tried to enter the dark side, he only appeared in his room. Turns out he cannot get access to the dark side from his room. He has to go out in order to explore it. Therefore, he goes out. The dark side looks exactly like the real world. This makes him angry, and he keeps on walking. He hears a sound from behind and wonders if it's a person who is here to help him navigate the place. However, it's a strange creature that attacks him from behind. He dodges the attack successfully. The creature looks like a monster with red eyes. It again tries to attack Jiang, but he keeps on dodging all the attacks. The main character orders his shadow circle to open and jumps in the circle. Luckily, he exits the dark side through the shadow circle and escapes that creature. This scares him to death. He does not understand why that creature attacked him from nowhere. Luckily, training all these days has made him flexible enough to escape that creature. The main character plans on avenging that creature as he has tried to kill him. On January 28th, he again enters the dark side and fights with the same creature. This time, he gets hit. The next day, he again enters but fails to take his revenge. He gets badly hit on his chest this time. On January 30th, he gets hit 3 times and loses 6% of his HP. The main character takes a day off and decides to recover at home. Yao Yao is taking care of his wounds. She asks him if he had a fight with someone. He tells her that these scars are his medals. Yao Yao mocks his scars and tells him that he will become arrogant when his body gets stronger. Jang brushes her off and inquires about the upcoming martial arts test. The test is just a month away, and he wants to know Lu's plan for it. It seems like she has forgotten about it. In the disastrous year, most industries have become less popular, especially the cultural and art industries. Art-related practitioners have gone to the bottom of society. People are no longer interested in entertainment. They are now more interested in national affairs. Night guards have attracted a lot of attention and become the stars. Those who aspire to become a night guard have to pass a martial arts exam set up by the state. Candidates who pass this exam live on to have a special life. Yao Yao reveals that she does not want to participate in the martial arts exam. To Zhang's surprise, she actually wants to learn about music. Zhang encourages her to go and learn music, but he is not sure if her father will agree. Her father is a senior executive of the Night Patrol Department. His designation is equal to a second-generation employee who does not take the civil service exam but becomes an independent worker. Yao Yao is not worried about her father. She is actually dreading the new law that says this year as everyone has to take the martial arts exam and apply for it. Zhang does not seem surprised as the authorities do not care for their wishes. They have allowed students with average qualifications to apply for the general examination. Yao Yao tells him that the pressure on the night patrol has increased. If there is no accident, she will definitely take the martial arts exam. Zhang wonders about Lu's instrument that she brought to the test last time. He also recalls that there were so many subtleties on test day that he could not hide himself. However, he is hopeful that his little guide will not put him in the bad camps. He turns to Yao Yao and asks her if the reagent she brought last time can be used to prevent alien species. Yao Yao does not think that it can do so as the tool can only be used to detect aliens and supernatural beings. She adds that if he encounters a really different kind of alien, he can run as fast as he can and make an emergency call before he dies. Zhang wants to inquire more about that different kind of alien, but Yao Yao changes the topic. She informs him that his injuries have been healed and she will be back soon. Zhang coughs and asks her if he can get his hands on the basic paranormal information that her family has. Yao Yao wonders if he wants to take the public examination in the future. He clears that he wants to know in advance as the martial arts test is mandatory this year. He also reveals that he wants to create something about superhumans and alien blood comics. The idea of a superhuman comic excites Yao Yao and she wants to know everything about it. Shang tells her about the initial idea. The comic is about a skinny boy named Ben, who gets bullied at school but he has a kind heart. With the help of his friends and teachers, he is selected by the Night's Watch and takes part in the Super Warrior Project. He relies on his extraordinary willpower. He becomes a powerful leader, Captain Ben, by transforming and receiving injections of the Super Soldier Serum. The Night Patrolman sends him to high-ranking gatherings instead of sending him to the battlefield. The Watchman wants him to get acquainted with wealthy families and noble ladies. Zhang keeps on narrating the plot for his comic while Yao Yao listens excitedly. Later, Yao Yao takes him to her house that is on the same street. They enter her room and she tells Jiang to wait as she wants to go to her dad's room to get the materials. While she is going, Jiang stops her as he has found a comic about sibling love. She tells him that it's not hers. Her friend has left it there. She goes away and cautions him not to touch her stuff. Once she leaves, Jiang wonders that she has not changed a bit. She loves music and is not willing to throw away her childhood musical instruments. He recalls that she always used to force him to listen to her music even if he was not interested in it. He plays on one of her tapes and recalls their childhood moments. Yao Yao enters and asks him if he has started liking music. The main character comes from childhood memories. She remembers that he wouldn't even recognize musical instruments in the past. He brushes off her remarks and finds a VR device. He wears it and falls down the abyss. The virtual reality looks real to him. That unknown world is full of taboos and dangers, which is a source of disaster. The aliens are born in this mysterious place and are constantly killing and destroying the real world. Zhang wonders if these species are the ones he saw in the hospital. Between the real world and the abyss, there is a shadow that is called the dark side of the world. The dark side is actually a part of the real world. Before the cracks opened in the abyss, the alien species had infiltrated the world through the shadow layer. The Night Guardians control their entry and exits, but there is still someone who has slipped through the net. Every 2 months, the shadow layer is reset to reproduce what they are currently seeing. At that time, the number of alien species increases greatly, and it becomes necessary to eliminate them in time. Considering the fact that Shadow Class would greatly weaken the combat effectiveness of humans, it is not recommended for people above the 4th level to go there. The visible range of the shadow layer is 3 to 5 meters, and the visible range increases with the improvement of strength. The shadow layer is really polluted, and humans can turn into a strange entity if they stay there for too long. However, Jiang wonders why Chia Yingyang did not feel any discomfort when he entered. The main character witnesses many alien creatures through the VR device and gets anxious. He now understands that in order to deal with the alien species, one must control a force that is sufficient to rival them. One has to be extraordinary if one wants to fight them. He now sees a figure and wonders if he is the extraordinary one. He does not really know if he can become like him if he passes the martial arts exam. The extraordinary people are primarily aliens with human bodies. Their task is to fight against pollution and aliens. Once they die, there is a high possibility of heterogeneity. Therefore, these extraordinary beings have to exhaust their strength before dying, or they can turn into deadly monstrous creatures. Jiang is overwhelmed with all this information and takes out the device. He tells Yao Yao that the information is really extensive and outdated. He asks her to give him a back massage. She gets angry at his request. He bribes her with 3 original Ultra HD drawings. She agrees and starts massaging him. She feels that his shoulders are hard. Zhang explains that his neck has become muscular as he has been working out. She inquires if he also does abs. He gets that she wants to touch his abs and he allows her to do so. While she is feeling his abs, her father enters the room and witnesses this scene. They all dine together, and there is a lot of tension between Jiang and Uncle Lu on the table. Yao Yao tells her father that he has a misunderstanding. Lu does not buy it as he has seen them together with his own eyes. Yao Yao has no words to say, therefore she shouts at Jiang and urges him to say something. The main character is also hesitant, but he somehow manages to tell her father that it is all his fault. Jiang then admits that he has done that and Lu can do whatever he wants. Lu, on the other hand, gets furious and looks for a knife. Yao Yao tries to calm down her father while Jiang tries to escape, saying Uncle Lu has a misunderstanding. Yao Yao and Jiang are childhood lovers, but they have different personalities. People see the main character as a notorious guy, while Yao Yao is an educated and likable young girl. Despite having opposite personalities, she has always loved playing with Jiang when they were young. He wonders if it's because he has once saved her from mean kids. He also thinks that she likes him because she glorifies his bravery and handsomeness. He remembers that she was willing to play with him even when he pretended like a homeless kid to prank others. He still recalls how she used to accompany him in his pranks, and her father used to scold her for hanging out with him. Uncle Lu has always been wary of him. Lu sits down on a sofa and stares at both of them with doubt. He lights up his cigarette and asks them about the scene that he saw when he entered his daughter's room. Zhang explains that he is looking for some information about aliens and supernatural beings. Lu, on the other hand, thinks he is spoiled. He asks him if he knows the actual reason behind keeping this information hidden in advance from the students. Zhang does not know the actual reason, so Lu explains it to him. Human souls are heterogeneous and are subject to deviation. Despair can drag a person to the abyss. There are some things that are not appropriate for everyone because not everyone has the willpower for it. Even if there is a small crack in the soul, alien races can exploit it to their advantage. Therefore, the government wants to assess the qualifications of the candidates before the official examination. Only people with physical health and willpower can contact the supernatural world. He also explains to them that the path to superpower is long and full of dangers that require patience and perseverance. He adds that every year so many people lose control of their powers even with assistive devices. All this makes him sad, therefore he advises Jiang not to learn about these things beforehand. Jiang appreciates him for the advice, but he also tells him that he cannot avoid it as this year is the military comprehensive examination. Moreover, he thinks that it's better to rely on himself than others. He also tells them that having someone to rely on can come in handy when the world is collapsing. Before Lu can tell him otherwise, he gets a call for an urgent mission. He gets ready to go. Before going, he tells Jiang to be a gentleman. He also warns him that he will kill him if he does something wrong. Jiang tells him to not worry, as he will not do anything wrong with Yao Yao again. Yao Yao is not happy with his statement because she thinks they have never done anything wrong in the first place. The scene shifts to a busy day. People are out on the streets for their daily chores. Jiang has also come out of his house and is standing in front of a screen. The screen displays members of the Sunset Watch who have the responsibility for guarding the Sea of Clouds. The main character seems a bit disappointed with the amount of information he has received on the supernatural. While doing his groceries, he thinks to himself that he will not be able to access the information again as Uncle Lu will keep it hidden. Meanwhile, he gets a call from Yao Yao who tells him to bring milk and eggs. Jiang replies in a teasing tone that she should clearly state if she needs pads. He grabs her pads and goes out. While going back home, he is thinking about his upcoming test and the effects of his shadow's training. The shadow exercises are effective, but it would not be enough alone. Therefore, he decides to add some other practical exercises as well. He has frequently seen advertisements about fighting against the aliens. In addition, this year the number of students will be higher in the martial arts exam. He looks up at the dark sky and gets a feeling that something really bad is going to happen in this world soon. He realizes that it's better to not think about this yet and focus on evolving by fighting with the alien races. He looks around to confirm that no one is watching him. Once confirmed, he enters the dark side. As soon as he enters, he realizes that someone with 14% HP is marching towards him. When he comes near the main character, he recognizes him. He is a young boy who lives on the same street as Jiang. He is injured badly and is about to die. Jiang asks him about his presence in the dark side, but before he can answer, he falls down to the ground. Soon, the monstrous creature appears from behind the boy. It's the same creature that Jiang wants his revenge from. Jiang also sees a little boy and girl who are hiding from this creature. He now understands that this creature is the reason behind the boy's low HP. The realization makes Jiang angry, and he gets ready to take on the monster. The scene shifts back to the time when the young lad came to the dark side. He is a night guard who is coming back from his overtime duty. He is tired from his long duty hours and work pressure. He regrets taking the martial arts exams as he would have not done it if he already knew about its work pressure. He suddenly hears a call for help. When he looks carefully, he witnesses that two kids are being drawn towards the dark side. The young boy wonders if it's an alien species that is pulling people towards the dark side. However, as per information, alien species only come to this world and create disturbances. He has never heard of a situation where people are being drawn towards the dark side. The kids are still shouting as they are being drawn into the dark swirl. The young lad assures them that he will save both of them and runs towards them. He holds their hands and the darkness engulfs all of them. The darkness swirl throws them at the other side. The kids cannot understand where they are and they start crying. The young boy finally realizes that he is on the dark side while he is off duty. He does not even have his weapons or the pollution control equipment with him. He is sure that he is going to get killed today. Before he could do anything, he encounters a monstrous alien. The kids get scared and he attacks the creature. Surprisingly, it disappears, but the young boy realizes that there is no way he can go back. He looks around and gets that the place has a lot of alien species. Those aliens can attack them anytime. The boy has worked so long as a government employee that he has almost forgotten all the fighting skills he learned during the martial arts exam. Worst of all, he is with two little kids in this dark world who are dependent on him for their survival. Both of them are crying. The boy can only send the distress signals through his wristband and wait for help. He sends the signal and removes his band. The band can help those two kids fight the pollution temporarily. He thinks there is no point in keeping the band with himself, therefore he gives it to the little kids. The little boy asks him if they will survive and he answers that they will surely survive. He advises him to hide somewhere safe as he has to fight the creature first. The young boy recalls that he passed the military strength exam at 18 years old. He passed it and entered the Great Powers department at the university. He also remembers that he worked hard on his foundations during his first year of university. He wanted to become a fighter one day. The boy still recalls the day he defeated an unclassified alien during his second year at the university. But he soon realizes that hard work has no value over natural talents in the world of superpowers. The young boy did not believe in fate. He worked hard, but in the end, he could not push his limits. He had no choice but to leave the military forces department and become a regular employee of the Night's Watch. The boy comes out of his thoughts and realizes that the monster is approaching him. It is a four-dimensional, mid-range, and first-class half-animal monster. The monster attacks him, but he is able to counterattack it. The attack feels a bit familiar to the boy. However, just then, the monster catches him off guard and attacks him. The boy could have avoided the attack, but his body would not keep up with his brain. The monster attacks again. The boy dodges the attack and tries to run away. His body becomes heavy, as if countless needles are piercing his body. Therefore, he must finish the creature before the pollution can kill him. He prepares to hit the monster and uses his shadow power of blindness to attack. The creature falls down as a result of the young boy's attack. However, the boy starts to bleed as the pollution is getting worse. Every time he uses his superpowers, the pollution also increases. People like him who have weak willpower and low qualifications cannot use supernatural powers multiple times. Luckily, the boy has only used his ability a few times since becoming a civilian. The monster is ready to attack him, and he is resolved to fight till the end. The monster attacks him with full force and he falls down to the ground. He coughs blood and is surprised at how quickly his opponent has gotten used to his strengths. The monster, however, is an average class species, and any university student from the martial arts department could have easily killed it. He wonders if his lack of talent is the reason behind his struggle against this creature. He realizes that he cannot win against it, but as a night patrol, he has resolved that he will not give up till the end. The only thing he can do is to buy time and wait for support to arrive. While he is looking at the scared kid, the monster hits him. He falls down to the ground again, and this time he feels like he is going to die. He recalls that he witnessed the death of his close relative at the age of 15. They all died at the hands of the alien species. That's the reason he has chosen to join the military forces at the age of 18. He also recalls that at the age of 20, he had to leave the combat department after he finished his second year. Later, he joined the night police as a trainee at the age of 21 and became a regular employee. It's now been 4 years since he joined the night police. Despite challenges, he regards his life as ordinary in this world. Human beings and alien species have been fighting for 4 years, but everything has not been as peaceful during these years as it is advertised. They have always wanted to escape reality, but no one can deny it when they encounter the dark clouds. The young boy thinks that death is the normal state of affairs for people with superpowers. But he is not going to give up yet as he has to protect the kids. He takes a blue pill and stands up with a new surge of power. He gets ready for a second round with the alien. The young boy takes the lead and starts attacking the monster continuously. The alien monster cannot defend his back-to-back attacks. The boy is still hopeful that he will finish the alien if he holds on a little longer. But in the end, the pollution gets onto him, and the alien attacks him. He cannot withstand that attack and drops down to the ground. His head starts bleeding and he can see his end. He realizes that he cannot end the creature just because of his abilities. He feels helpless as he could not even win with the help of pills. He can see that his normal and boring life is going to end. Just before he gives up, he hears Zhang's voice. He wonders if he is a night's watchman, but his voice is too young, he does not seem like a watchman. He is surprised at the presence of a normal human being on the dark side, as it's highly unlikely. Jang approaches him and holds his shoulders. He tells him to lie down for a while and leave the rest to him. The young boy is still thinking about Jiang's presence on the dark side. No one can enter the dark side as it's strictly controlled by the inspection department. He wonders if Jiang is the mystery man who is living on the dark side. Meanwhile, the alien attacks Jiang and he slides away. The boy realizes that he is so weak. The alien monster tries to attack the boy, but Jiang attacks it first. His attacks bring down the alien's HP from 24 to 23. He warns it that it should not attack the boy as its opponent is Jiang. He gets ready to attack with a glass bottle in his hand. He breaks the glass bottle and uses it to scare the alien. He has already fought it before, so he knows the way it fights. The alien is seriously injured and its speed and strength are much weaker now. Jang fully understands that, and is ready to show that the preference is all his. The alien gets angry and tries to attack Jiang again. However, Jiang dodges the attack successfully. The young boy cannot figure out if Jiang is weak or not. However, he surely knows that even if he does not have special techniques, he can exceptionally suppress his opponents. Jiang, on the other hand, is adamant about taking his revenge on that creature. He gathers all his power and attacks its waist. The alien attacks in response and throws him away. He realizes that attacking its waist puts it in defensive mode. He sees that the monster is running towards him. He questions himself about what he should do, as he will die after 2 more hits. He would have left the dark side and come back later if he were alone, but he cannot leave as he has to save the kids and the boy. He then notices that the alien's HP has dropped to 20%. He thinks to himself that at this HP he should not be afraid of it, and should be tougher enough to kill it today. The boy advises him to attack its right rib as it is seriously injured. Jang agrees and starts running towards the alien. The alien hears it and gets alerted. To its surprise, Jiang attacks it on the left side, saying it neglected its defense on the left after hearing the boy's instruction. As a result of this attack, its HP drops to 18%. The alien tries to run away, and Jiang wonders if it is trying to escape. The boy instructs him to hurry up. To their fear, the alien is going to target the kids. The alien approaches the kids. He opens his mouth and is ready to kill them. They get really scared and call for help. Jiang picks up a soda can and throws it with full force toward the alien. The can hits the alien on his face. Meanwhile, the other guy regains a little strength. He jumps up high and hits the alien on his head. This attack brings down the monster's HP to 15%. The young boy coughs more blood and looks up. The monster is about to attack him, but Jiang grabs it from behind. He is about to kill it. He bites the alien on its neck, which brings its HP down. He also pulls on its hair and taunts it that it should keep on barking. Its HP drops to 11%, and Jiang is adamant that he will not let it eat people anymore. Soon a ball-like structure appears in the monster's chest. At first, the main character gets confused, but he soon realizes that he has to attack the ball if he wants to kill it. Jiang attacks the ball with full force. A huge explosion happens and the alien dies. The body vanishes with all its dark energy and takes away all the chaos it created. Jiang starts bleeding, but he stands up in relief. He can see that the other guy is also bleeding and is sitting on the ground with the kids. Jiang is happy that he has finally taken his revenge. Suddenly his vision starts to blur and he goes into complete darkness. Jiang finds himself in a chaotic world. There are dead bodies and injured people all over. The place is burning, and he wonders if it's the gathering place. He does not know how he got here. He finds himself surrounded by hundreds of aliens that are ready to attack him. They all attack him at once and he shouts. The sun is high and it's the dark side of the world. Some people are clamoring in the lights and some are shouting in the shadows. Everyone is fighting and people are dying. Some people know and some do not know about the real great death. Jiang suddenly gets his vision back and he hears the young boy who is asking him if he is alive or not. Jiang confirms that he is alive and is relieved that everything he saw earlier is actually a dream. He does not remember anything after he killed the alien. He touches its body and realizes that it's a shade-eating alien. The young boy asks him if he is fine, as he is not saying anything. Before he can say anything, he realizes that the boy's condition is very bad. According to his blood volume standard, he could still be saved as he still has 10% HP. As per the standard HP system, human beings with 10% HP are considered near death, and there is a slight chance of their survival. The boy requests Jiang to help him lean against the wall. They both sit down leaning against the wall. The boy asks Jiang if he is a night watch. The main character is surprised at the fact that the boy does not recognize him despite living in the same building. He assumes that the boy might not have seen him enough around the building, which is why he does not know the main character. Jiang replies that he is not a night patrol. The boy tells him that the way he struggles to kill that first-order alien species, he must not be a night patrolman. He laughs and adds that not all night patrollers are strong. Jiang wonders if that guy does not know how to say thank you, as he has just saved his life. The boy then smiles and tells the main character that he did great. He again mocks Jiang by telling him that he never saw someone use a bottle of soy sauce to get rid of an alien. He keeps on joking while coughing in between. Jang wonders how he can be in such a good mood after sustaining all the injuries. He also wonders if all night guards are always in such a good mood. The guy asks Jang about his age and university. He tells him that he studies at North Metro Academy and has just started his sophomore year. He lies to the boy as he does not want to share his personal information with other people. Turns out the other guy also studies in the same university, so he asks for Jang's department. Jang seems confused, so the guy plans to not ask him any more questions. But moments later tells Jang that he assumes he should be in the martial arts department, as anyone from liberal arts cannot deal with the first-level monster. He keeps on talking and asks Jang for a cigarette. Jang does not have it, so he offers biscuits. The guy takes it and tells Jang that he is stingy. The main character tells him that he had plenty of them, but they broke down during the fight and are scattered all over the place. He offers to give some of them to the guy if he still wants them. The guy refuses to eat them from the floor. A few minutes later, he asks Jang if it is his first time fighting an alien on his own. Kin tells him that he is right. The guy reveals that he sometimes envies the martial arts department, examination, and even the combat department, as they are very lucky. He himself is unlucky as he has poor qualifications and weak willpower. He considers himself hopeless, as he cannot increase his power even after taking Yuan Wang, a pill that can increase combat effectiveness. Zhang tells him that it's better to stop talking and save some energy, as he has to wait for the rescue team to arrive. The guy tells him that he just wants someone he can talk to. He goes on to say that the willpower of civilians like him is so low. No matter how strong they are, their hearts are weak. They cannot resist the pollution for long. Zhang asks him if he has regrets about taking the martial arts track. The guy clenches his fist and reveals that he badly regrets it. He is a clerical worker who can fish around work and talks to girls when he has nothing to do. He also gives training to new night patrolmen, and that is it. He thinks he got into a whirlpool and now he has no way out. He coughs again and Zhang tells him to be easy on himself. This way he will not be able to survive. The guy tells him that he had sent the rescue signal a long time ago and the rescue team should have been there by now. He is also worried about the kids who are now lying down on the ground. Zhang stands up, but the guy warns him that there are other alien species that can attack him. He also mentions that the main character will not be able to dodge them with his skills all the time. He asks him to sit down and talk to him until the rescue team arrives. Zhang thinks to himself that this guy is good at torturing people instead of the aliens. Zhang stays and listens as the man talks about his past, telling stories about how brave and fearless he was. The man smiles and tells Zhang that if he ever goes back to university, he should send his apologies to the head of the Supernatural Technologies Department. He wants to apologize for not meeting his expectations since he wasn't able to kill even a first-class monster. The guy also asks him to thank Deputy Director Huang from the Academy of Supernatural Literature for her guidance. He admits that her advice to not act arrogant in class is really embarrassing, as she always talks about passing the torch and the survival of the human race. Zhang jokingly asks him to wait till he gets a notebook or come back later to explain everything himself. The man sighs, saying he has kept all these thoughts inside for a long time and just wants someone to talk to. He mentions that it would be nice to visit Northern Watch Academy again. Then he asks if Zhang has more of those cookies left. He seems to like them a lot. Zhang tells him that his taste is weird enough, and besides, he can't find spicy stick-flavored cookies anywhere in the world. The guy simply smiles and tells him to forget it. Suddenly, the energy in the air thickens, and the man says that the night patrol has arrived. Zhang is relieved because now they can help this man. He picks up his package and prepares to leave when the man asks if he wants to go with him. Zhang declines, saying he'll get there on his own. The man smiles and wishes him a safe journey. Zhang thanks him and starts walking away, but just as he is about to leave, he looks back to see the night patrol officers approaching him. The officers report that they have found a night patrol member and 2 children. They check his vital signs. His blood level is still at 10%. One officer looks at his colleague and shakes his head. Zhang notices the man's health bar is dropping rapidly. He wonders why this is happening. With modern medicine, they could have saved him. As he is teleporting back, he notices the officer stopping to salute the guy. He reaches his hand out, but it is too late and his health has already dropped to 0. However, there is a smile on the man's face. Zhang calls out, asking them to wait, but he is already teleported back to the street. People around don't understand what just happened. Some think the man is an actor. A screen appears with a broadcast from the night patrol, reminding special individuals that they must never give up, even in their final moments. If they realize their chances of survival are low, they must take a pill carefully, knowing the risks. The chance of death after taking it is 90%. Even if they survive, their lifespan will be significantly reduced. This pill is called Compound No. 3, and it is the same pill which that guy took to take down the monster and save the kids. The broadcast continues that they must remember those who have fallen and keep moving forward until all threats are eliminated. They must patrol the skies and Earth, protecting everyone day and night while hoping for a better future. The night patrol must face the unknown and fight against the unexplainable. Later, our boy rides the elevator, still wearing bloody clothes, and wonders if that man really died. He kept making jokes while talking, but in the end, all he wanted was someone to talk to before he passed away. No flowers, no applause. He simply disappeared like an ordinary person. Jiang thinks to himself that it doesn't matter how ordinary he is, he will always remember him. Exhausted, he decides to take a shower and go straight to bed. In the mirror, he sees that his health bar is at 55%, but he can barely stand. This makes him a bit surprised since he thought that he was at 20% healthy. He remembers that the man was at 10%, but he was still acting like nothing happened. It seems that training the body alone isn't enough. Willpower is just as important. Suddenly, a loud voice interrupts his thoughts. His girlfriend, lounging on the sofa, asks him about the eggs. The phone isn't working and she can't find anyone, so she questions if he brought the eggs that she asked for. Zhang turns away to hide his bloody clothes and mentions that New Year is coming. Due to this, stores have long lines where people wait for hours. Then, he asks how she got into his house. She tells him that he orders takeout every day, so Uncle Lee asked her to take care of him. He was the one who gave her the key. She notices his bloody clothes and asks what happened. Was he in a fight? Zhang insists it's late and tells her to go home before Uncle Lee gets the wrong idea again. But she grabs his arm and makes him turn around. He tries to brush her off, saying he's just hungry and wants to make instant noodles. Through the holes in his clothes, she sees his wounds and gasps. She asks him how he got hurt so badly. Zhang becomes nervous and awkwardly says he forgot to buy eggs. He explains that on his way home he saw a robbery, so he stepped in and fought the guy. He mentions that he beat the guy pretty badly, so she doesn't need to feel sorry for him. Later, when the police arrived, they found the attacker in such a terrible state that he was barely recognizable as human. His girlfriend doesn't seem to buy it, so he demonstrates his insane reaction speed and does some shadow boxing in front of her. He continues yapping and says that he beat the guy so badly that even his own mother won't recognize him. As he is talking, Yao Yao gently touches the marks on his face. He loses his mind as he realizes that there is no way she would believe anything he just said. Yao Yao asks if it hurts, but Zhang only sighs and says he wants to sleep. She insists they should tell Uncle Lee everything since he was fighting with people in the middle of the night. Zhang quickly makes excuses, claiming it wasn't a fight and he was just acting righteously. But she isn't convinced. Too exhausted to keep going, Zhang sinks to the floor, admitting he is too weak to move. Yao Yao frowns, saying he needs to go to the hospital, but he waves her off. He assures her he has everything he needs at home, and even claims his medicine is better than anything a hospital can offer. She raises an eyebrow at him and asks if he just wants her to apply medicine for him. With a smirk, he calls her Dr. Liu and asks her to patch him up. The moment she starts, he screams in pain, begging her to give him medicine instead of wrapping him up like a mummy. Annoyed, she smacks his shoulder and asks if he plans on doing this again. He quickly promises it won't happen again, but refuses to swear on it. Yao Yao clenches her fist, threatening him, but Zhang nervously laughs and mutters that fighting is simply human nature. He tells her that if it's a big deal for her, he will simply look and not go in. Hearing this, she prepares to punch him and asks him what he just said. He repeats himself, promising to stay out of trouble and simply watch from the sidelines next time. With that, Yao Yao turns to leave. As she walks away, Zhang calls after her, suggesting she stay the night since he has a big bed. She sticks her tongue out at him and slams the door behind her. Lying down, he tries to rest, but he can't stop thinking about the man he met in the shadow world. The guy asked him to pass on his message to guard the Northern Watch Academy. After a bit of silence, Zhang gets up in shock as he realizes that he didn't even ask the man for his name. At that moment, the system notifies him about the creature he killed in the shadow world. It belongs to the ghost species and is at the first level. The creature is from the lower abyss, deeply connected to shadows and darkness. The system warns that anyone marked by this being will be vulnerable to hidden attacks. Zhang managed to kill the creature with an arm fracture. Zhang receives shadow points for the kill. He wonders if his kills will be recorded somewhere, or if he needs to absorb the shadows through his Shadow Devour skill in order for them to be recorded. He suddenly notices the system window for his new skill. The system explains that his new skill, Shadow Assault, is an invisible attack that enemies can't detect, with the first hit dealing devastating damage. Curious, Zhang stands in the middle of the room and speaks the skill's name aloud, but nothing happens. He frowns, wondering if the system is bugged or if he simply needs a target. Either way, he decides to test it later. Opening his stats window, he reads through his information. His name is Jiang, his attribute is Shadow, and he has accumulated 14 Shadow points. He has now become Rogue, a class that specializes in striking from the shadows. His abilities include Shadow Devour, Shadow Eyes, and Shadow Form. Zhang reads the description for all this stuff and wonders how the system even managed to create these game lines. Just then, the system informs him that his shadow has undergone a transformation. Now, he can fully control it and even merge with it to create a special form. Zhang narrows his eyes and wonders if this is a new skill again. The system confirms that the shadow form is now available to him. By training in this state, he can become stronger. His aura will blend into the darkness, making him nearly invisible. While he can use shadow form outside the shadow realm, it will drain his shadow points. This form doesn't have any fatal body parts, which means that even if he gets beheaded, he won't die, and it will only take out a huge portion of his health. Zhang is stunned after reading all this. That last ability sounds like a miracle, But then he spots a catch. If he gets beheaded, instead of dying, his health will drop down to 1%. So in other words, bro just got scammed. He screams as he thinks that it is better to just die on the spot than have a delayed death. Still, it's a useful skill, and he decides to try it out. Summoning his shadow, Jiang raises a finger. Instantly, the shadow beneath him mimics the movement perfectly. Jiang's hand touches the shadow, and it immediately spreads over his body, completely absorbing him. As he examines his new form, he wonders if this is really his body. It feels unfamiliar yet fascinating. Letting out a sigh, he suddenly takes off, dashing across the room in an instant. The force of his movement sends objects flying behind him. He realizes how fast he has become and feels a thrill of excitement. Testing his strength, he lifts the bed effortlessly, raising